Janet Gallin, meet the Biz.
You have the most endearing way of applauding, Mr.
Oh,
Zimmerman.
I love it. Whee!
Well.
Hi,
Good morning, everybody. Great to
everybody.
see you. Missed you yesterday. We were at
Hey,
taking a day
Mickey.
off, for birthday
Hello,
celebration.
everybody. Hello, John
Good to
Pazes.
see you, and thank you guys for your messages, things that you sent me. I really appreciate it. We had a wonderful day off and a
Happy-
special class today.
happy
Such a
birthday.
special get together today.
I think next year, John.
And
Right on.
some of you people are going to remember this wonderful lady from she came out to the studio, but I'll let David do the introductions, and we're gonna,
We're gonna back out.
we're gonna back out in a little bit. I gotta.
Hi, John.
Hi, Pam. Hi,
Yeah, we
Howdy,
can
ho.
Zoom it.
Love you guys. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Megan.
Hey,
Hello
everyone.
to each and everyone. I don't want to eat.
Hello, David.
Hi, Anise. Nice to see you. I don't want to eat you. Got
Hi, Marcy.
some precious. Is Marcy here?
Right there.
Hey, Marcy
Hey,
Strotter.
Marcy.
Wave your hand,
Hi.
Mars.
There you go.
I'm going to unmute you for a second. You guys, this is Marcy against the blue background. Marcy is one of our former participants who has gone on to do amazing things in the state of Ohio, and she's a speaker with regard to technology, possibilities for use with people with disabilities. She also happens to be Larry Vance's girlfriend. You know, that's just one of the many things on her resume. So Marcy, welcome. It's great to see you, sweetie.
And speaking of which, there's Larry.
And there's Larry right
Hi,
there.
Larry.
Are you guys in the same area, or are you in two separate places?
No, I'm in my hotel room.
You're in your
I had
hotel
to go
room.
get
Oh,
spot up.
there you
All
go.
right. Well, you guys have a great time today, and we'll be watching without being seeing us.
Okay.
All
Love you.
right.
Don,
You
you
have a
look
great
different.
class.
Thanks, everybody.
And let's go ahead and let David do the introductions here. Here we
Happy
go.
birthday, John.
Thank you, my dear one.
Bye, guys.
Happy birthday, John. I didn't know today was your birthday.
It was yesterday, but thank you, Marcy.
Bye, guys.
Happy birthday, John.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Hello to John. Hello to Megan.
Hey, everyone.
David.
We got a fun day today. That's right. We have, as many of you know, because she visited with us before, this wonderful, amazing, supportive, loving woman is going to be joining us today. She has her own show and so many other things that she does. Love Letters Live. I'm going to introduce her. She's coming on today, and she's going to be with us. Janet Gallin. There we go, Janet Gallin.
Thank you. So I see that, oh, I am unmuted. So much to keep track of. Okay.
Well, you don't have to worry about the unmute or mute because I am here, Christina's here, and we're going to
Good.
have a blast.
So I'm just going to throw myself in your hands. And how would you like to start this conversation about love letters? It's one of my favorite topics, as you know.
Yes, yes. And I tell you, being around you, Janet, reminds me, even though love is always with me, but it's, you know, when we feel a little down at times,
Oh,
I hear your name even, or I'm in your presence and it's like, oh yeah, love, there is love.
thank you. Yes,
So-
there is. There is. And, you know, my mother once told me when I was a very little girl about the world, and she said that 95% of people in the world are very wonderful. It's only that 5% that you have to be careful of. See, and I think that stays true. I think most people are truly loving and giving, and those are the ones. Well, those are the ones we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. But may I start in, David, with this?
I love it.
I have heard people all my life, and probably you all have too, when things go a little bit funny and they don't go quite what you wanted, or they ended up a little different than you'd hoped, people say, oh, I wish I had a magic wand. And I say, you do. You have one as good as Glinda's from The Wizard of Oz. It is the pen that you write letters with. Magic wand. It corrects so much in life. It does a lot. Can I just ask all of you, tell me who's written love letters or any kind of letters? Anybody? Okay, maybe this is not a group that has,
Well, there's a bunch of hands being raised.
oh, okay, so I can't see them.
Well, you tell, if you want, I could bring them on one by one for you, and
Let's do that.
if you want,
That would be wonderful. Yes.
we could actually even, and I will add Marcy. We'll start with Marcy.
Okay. Marcy, hi. Are you-
Hello.
Hi, honey. Are you a letter writer? Have you ever written them?
Yes.
Oh, you have. Okay, so I know it's a little bit different because I'm so much older than all of you. And if you're a very young person, you didn't grow up having to write letters because you've got all kinds of other ways. So who have you written letters to?
I've written letters to like my bosses and different things like that. I've wrote it to the State House of Ohio and
Wow.
the person of the Department of Developmental Disabilities, the president.
Now, were these letters of appreciation for something they done?
Yes,
Good for you. Did you ever hear?
because I was appointed by the governor to the DD Council for People with Disabilities. So I wrote him a letter.
So, you know, I one of the things about a love letter, and I'm calling any kind of letter of appreciation a love letter. So many things come under that heading. Once you send a love letter, it's a gift. You don't
I
get to.
text my boyfriend love letters.
Oh, good. Okay, so you got kind of a wide variety. So romance.
Yeah,
Did you ever get any really interesting replies or reactions?
from my boyfriend, when he read my texts, I got little emojis and a heart and an I love you.
All right, so let's talk about this. So you texted him a love letter.
Yeah,
Have you ever written one by hand and put it in the mail?
no,
Would you be up to doing that ever?
yes.
Okay.
When I have time, I have 3 jobs.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so when you have time, let me just say that it doesn't have to take a lot of time, and I want to show you something. I'm going to have a little fashion show here. There are very beautiful small pieces of stationery,
Wow.
and all you have to do is say something like, I love you, or whatever you want to say, but you don't have to take a lot of time. Look at that postcard. Is that cute? The most you have to do is decide on the stationery you send. If you can take 3 minutes and just put some wonderful memory down and stick it in the mail, I think that really works magic. To see, do you get junk mail?
Yep.
We all do. We all do. And I think
I did write my dad letters, but I wrote him letters with hearts and little notes
okay, good. All
and
right.
sent it in the mail.
Yeah, I think there's something wonderful about seeing somebody's handwriting in that pile of junk,
Yeah.
you know, and you know you've gotten a real gift. Okay, well, who else has any experience with writing letters?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Marcy.
Thank
You're
you. Yes,
welcome.
Marcy.
Let's see who's next. I'm gonna check who those who raised your hand. Oh, I think Matthew Payne. Matthew Payne, you've written letters, huh?
Yeah, not so much letters, but I've written a lot of poems.
Oh, nice. Do you send them to anybody in your own handwriting?
No, I text them.
Okay. I just
So-
want to say something about handwriting. Like texting is wonderful. I do it. I love email. I'm just hooked on it. Any kind of communication. But when you get a letter and I think when you get a letter and you see somebody's handwriting, you know that they've touched the letter, they've touched the piece of paper that you're going to be touching. And it's kind of like holding hands across time and distance. It's got a different feel to it. So I would just encourage, do it and see what happens.
Okay.
Love it.
Poetry is just a wonderful wonderful thing to get in the mail. Oh, thank you.
Thank
Who,
you.
who else?
I think we have Alex Hart. Alex Hart, let's see here. We'll spotlight you as well.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi, Alex.
Hello.
So have you ever written love letters?
Oh, yes,
Tell me.
a few.
And who do they go to, if I may ask?
I think it's my cousins.
Nice. Okay. Any particular occasion?
Yes, for a special event or something.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's such a gift. Have you ever gotten any letters from friends or family?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Wonderful. Now, I want to ask, I'm going to ask a different question now. If you got a love letter today from anyone, what would it say that would make you the most happy? What would you want it to say?
It would say I love that you are my favorite and my favorite in the universe. You are, and I love you the best.
There you go. Okay, so isn't that kind of what we all want, to know that we're loved?
Yeah.
Yes. And when you get a letter that says that, and if you're ever having a day that you're feeling, things could be better, and you bring out that letter and look at it again, it's just a constant reminder when you need it. Yes, I can see what a lovable person you are. I'm glad you got those letters. Let's ask some other people what they would want to see in a love letter to themselves.
I love it. How about Mark Pulver? Are you there? Mark Pulver?
Oh, yes, I'm.
Oh, hold on a second here.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you. Oh, there.
let's see here.
Okay, yes. What would you like to know?
I would like to know, well, two things. Are you a letter writer?
Yes, I am. I do. When I have the time, I love to write letters. I used to write old school, but now it's more, and sometimes old school, but more like by texting or online as new technology progresses.
Sure. Okay. So that's good. But I want to tell you all something about the new technology, which I love. I mean, I'm totally hooked on it. That what you send today, technology changes very fast, every 2 years, something is different. And you used to be able to, well, it doesn't even matter. The point is that you used to be able to use those floppy disks. You may all be too young to remember that. And that felt like you were going to have that forever. Just pour your heart out. No, now they don't make a machine that can read those. Same with a lot of things. We used to have the VCR tapes, those corrode, after 20 years. I will tell you that what you put in a letter in indelible ink on good paper in your handwriting lasts forever. I didn't bring them with me. I wish I had. I have copies of letters that were written in like 1920. That's almost 100 years ago.
Wow.
That is more than 100 years ago. We're in 21, aren't we? And they are as clear to read as they were the day they were sent. So I want to just tell you that when it comes to what's in your heart, the best storage system you can find, the one that lasts the longest, is a handwritten letter. That's all I want to say about that.
I love it.
So if you take the time, and by the way, it's a good idea to do it first on your computer, do it on your word processor if you like, to sort out your thoughts, why not? And then just take a few minutes to do it in your handwriting on a piece of paper. I've had experiences with people who have absolutely cured family trouble by a love letter. Magic wand. Yes. you know, dear Aunt Lily, I'm so sorry that I reacted so badly when you gave me that advice. You were right, and I should have been more patient. Whatever it is, apologies are great. And sometimes family rifts, more than sometimes, a family rift can be absolutely cured with a love letter.
No,
Okay. Pardon me?
You know, when I've had family issues and I wanted to express my sentiments, I'm 100% on point with you. And the magic words is basically is your expression, your feelings, and your emotions. That's the magic way to express things. I'm in total agreement, and I have written to help smooth things over and solve family issues with a nice letter. It's really, really, in my words, a magical tool that you can
Isn't
use.
it?
I agree
Yes.
with you 100%. Now I write letters of people with avocations. I wrote a book about my book with autism, not to, just to be short and brief about it, but I have written a book and just writing letters to people with advocation, which is really true and dear to my heart, and that's one of many reasons why I moved to Los Angeles. That I'm living here in Los Angeles, and I'm just honored to be a part of this with you today. I really am. Just
Thank
so
you, dear. Now,
honored.
what were the reasons you moved to Los Angeles? You said this was one of them?
Yes.
If I'm not asking
What?
something too personal.
No. The main reasons for LA, two main reasons. LA has the most need for people with disabilities, the most need for avocation to people to help encouragement. That was one. And then when I did that at a place out here called Leaps and Bounds, I was visiting a relative like 5 years ago. I don't know if you have heard of Leaps and Bounds. It's an agency to help people with mental development issues and avenue, at a resource center to help with people with disabilities. So I was introduced by that director who knows John Pace's Performing Arts Studio West, and now wanted to know if I wanted to consider an avocation in the film industry. I mulled it over, even though it was 3,000 miles away from home, Miami, Florida, which I moved 2 years ago. It only took me like a week to think about it. If I don't like it, I've lived here in Florida for 60 years. I could always come back. This was the best decision I ever made. And I'm so lucky to have you and David Zimmerman a part of my life. And no, I couldn't be more honored and proud of for that.
I have something to suggest, listening to you, because you've accomplished a lot. And I think just moving from Florida to Los Angeles is accomplishing. I think moving is one of the hardest things we can do, but that's just me. And I think, sometimes when I ask people, what would you like a love letter to say to you? And people kind of know what it is. And I say, if you haven't gotten that love letter from somebody else yet, how about writing one to yourself? Have you ever thought of that?
Not really. Why? Because I know what I'm all about. I mean, what do I have, to basically say to myself that I basically already know, really?
Okay, that's good. You're right about that. You know all about you, but there's something about you write a letter to yourself and then you read it and you see yourself giving yourself a pat on the back. It's just a whole other joy. Anyway, if you ever feel like it, all that you said about why you came to LA would make a wonderful letter to yourself. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, dear, for talking to me about that.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on your show. Thanks again. I'm honored, glad to be here. Thank you.
David, so who else might we talk to?
Oh, well, next we have Raquel Chavez.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, dear. How are you?
I'm fine.
So what can you say about love letters? Did you grow up with the importance of writing letters?
Well, yes, I grew up a little bit writing letters.
Like thank you notes and.
I said I used to volunteer at elementary school. I said thank you for the teacher I opened her over 10 years. I write her back. She wrote me back. I'm like, I hope in over 10 years, elementary school.
That's
Over.
nice. So when you get a letter from a friend, isn't it wonderful to see that in your mail?
Yes,
In some
Yes,
handwriting that you know?
yes.
I'm
She
glad,
always,
I'm glad to hear it. So let me ask you, if you were to get a love letter, go home today and you find in your mail a love letter to you, I don't know who from, what would it say that you'd like to hear most about you? And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I consider a love letter a letter about the other guy and how wonderful that was. So what would you like a love letter to say to you?
my older brother say I love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
never, I never see him almost after I graduated high school. I never see him almost 4 years. Yeah, I see him almost for
So
once a
letters,
year.
letters is a good way to stay connected.
Mhm.
You know, just once in a while, just a postcard, you know, a postcard. Half of it's for the address. The other half, you're not obligated to write a whole big long thing. Just that I love you. And maybe something you remember, something special you remember about a person. Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that you did that.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you for meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye.
Bye.
We now have Miss Isabel Guardado.
Hello. I saw you waving before.
Hi.
Hi.
Did-
Okay, tell me about you in letters. Do you ever?
It I had it on letter.
You have one letter?
I did I here Amber A.
Do you like to get letters?
Say yes.
Yes.
Everybody does. I'll tell you, you just reminded me of something, you know, when many years ago, my brother, who's a couple of years younger than I am, said to me, you know, when we were young, and I think he means like in grammar school, you always used to get letters from people and I never did. How come? Good question. And I said, because I wrote letters to people. And they answered me. So if you ever feel like getting letters, it's kind of a nice thing to just write a few and put them in a mailbox.
Okay. I love it writing and I was acting, music, dance,
Good for you.
and I did it. I it one action.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher is David.
Okay. And do you know where that teacher lives?
My teachers live as they born. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, if somebody could get you an address, you could write a letter to that teacher and just say, you were my favorite teacher and sign your name with a big heart. You could do that. Do you think you might consider doing that?
Yes.
You know, I want to tell you something. Teachers need to know that you remember them with love. Just like everybody. I hope you do it. Thank you for talking to me about this.
And thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. It's just take good care and get that letter written to that favorite teacher. Okay. Teachers and doctors and nurses and anybody who's helped us. You know, sometimes those teachers, well, teachers for sure, but sometimes doctors and nurses have just helped us tiptoe past death sometimes when we've been very sick. And a letter to them to say, thank you. I know what you did for me. Love in your name. It makes their day. And I know this because I wrote a letter to a nurse once who was fabulous. And a friend of mine who's a nurse said, you know, we don't get letters. We don't get many letters from people. People tend to write letters when they're upset or they're angry. All right. That's not going to get you much. But a letter when you feel love for somebody who has helped you, that means the world. Okay, David, who's next?
We have Matthew Selvin.
Hello, Janet.
Hi, Matthew. Nice to meet you. What is all that background?
Oh, it's the evolution land.
That's pretty nifty looking.
So no, I'm an animator.
Oh, you are? Yes.
So also, so I know about like, so I should like write letters to the it's that, yeah, think of writing letters. That like to the company.
Okay. Have you done that or you're thinking of doing it?
I don't think of doing it. So about so I do not own the so I don't own those characters. That belongs to Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Game Freak.
Now, I want to say something. You know, we're talking about writing one letter to somebody. There's something, it doesn't have to be a one-shot deal. I think writing love letters is really a way of life. And my husband used to laugh at me because every night I'd have about 4 letters and envelopes ready to go. And I'll tell you why. I found it so soothing and comforting to write letters to people I cared about. Short letters, usually. And there's something about
I know, I don't mind do short letters.
You don't?
I do.
You do. Okay. They're easier to pay attention to, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you you say to the company, there's probably what, many people in that company that you like?
Yeah, such as Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
So I hope like so Nintendo do that animated stuff.
Well,
so where they start making cartoons other than video games.
Good for you. I know we all love those. I have a thought, and that is to take one person a month. That's not a lot of time. One person a month that you care about and that you appreciate, and just write a short little note saying, I appreciate you so much. Stamp it and stick it in the mailbox. Will you consider that?
Yeah, I've done mailing before.
You what?
No, I've done mailing before.
Oh, good. Okay. And
So I think I went on Reddit website. Yeah, I think like a couple of years ago. I think I trade amiibo cards with someone.
Uh-huh. Yes. Oh, it's wonderful. You know, there's so many things you can put in that little envelope. Yes. Well, thank you for talking to me about this. I wish you well, and I love the background. Thank you.
Well, we have Jonathan Roth next. Jonathan Roth.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So let me ask my always question. Have you ever gotten a letter that's meant a lot to you? Somebody write to you a letter?
I have, yes. My grandma.
Can you tell us about it?
But my grandma lives in New Jersey. So on my birthday or Christmas, I get a letter.
Nice. Did you keep that letter?
I do, yeah.
See, I think people keep those love letters. I don't think we throw them away. And every year on your birthday or whenever you feel like it, you can bring that letter out and just be reminded of yet another person who loves you, right?
Yes,
Did you write back to that person?
I did, yes.
Nice. Okay, so then you're right in there. If you got a letter today from somebody, what would you like to hear most about yourself?
I want to hear about my love of music.
Music, okay. Can you tell us about your music?
Okay, so I'm a songwriter.
You're a what, honey? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I'm a songwriter.
Oh, a
And I
songwriter.
write my
Uh-huh.
own music.
Yes.
And
And
I
what would you
grew
like
up
somebody to know?
writing- One of the things I grew up doing is writing music.
That's a way of expressing love, isn't it? It can be.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. What kind of songs do you write? Can you say?
I write original
What?
original songs.
It sounds very good. Well, you've got a lot of things you could put in an envelope and send to people. I hope you do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's see. I think Anise Bullock is next.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I like that blouse. I know.
Thank
The
you.
world is a fashion show. Okay. So tell me about you in letters. Like, what would you like to hear most in a letter to you?
I would love a love letter. I will, because I don't ever get receive of letters. So me, I do write letters, but not all the time. Or like sometimes like I write myself a letter on my
Oh, good for you.
diary.
Yes. Let me ask you
Whenever
something. Denise, do you ever think about, like, writing in your diary is great and all kinds of journals, but do you ever think of writing yourself a letter, an actual letter? Dear Anise, here's what I want to say about what I think of you, to yourself. We get to talk to ourselves. And put it in an envelope, stamp it and mail it to your address. And when it gets there in the mail, you get to open it and read it. And you're going to see what I think is a really interesting thing, that the you who wrote it and the you who are reading it can be two different people. You know, you get to see yourself shining through the light of your own eyes. And I don't know how many of us really often do that. Would you consider doing that?
Yes, I thought about doing that before.
Okay.
I guess, yes, like now what's been right now, I think I should like.
Yes, I think you should too. And by the way, you can do it. I mean, I like this idea. I don't know if you will, but you can do it once a month. Like, pick a date, like the 5th of every month, whatever it is, once a month, drop yourself a note. And at the end of a year, you're going to have quite a wonderful collection of all the good you know about yourself. I hope you do that.
Yes.
I hope. So you said you'd like to get a love letter. Are you involved with somebody romantically?
No, I'm currently single. I love being single. Don't get me wrong. I love being single. Like, that's helped me like focus on myself, and
Good.
That's why I like writing on my diary.
Yes.
About how I'm feeling and what do I succeed in the future, what
Excellent.
What I want for me, and what of my hard work and the things I need to focus on.
Do you have a big family?
Yes, I do.
You're smiling. Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. With everybody is, of course. So you've got a lot of people that you could drop a note to. Yes. And I want to show you something. Can I take a little minute for a little, and by the way, those envelopes, I'm going to show you something. I'm a big believer in stickers on the envelopes, and they make so many wonderful stickers in life. I mean, oh, here's one. Okay, here's a collection of little insects. Now, I happen to like those, but you got to be careful who you send that to. So I think choosing the sticker can be really a part of the fun. I mean, oh, look, here's a whole bunch of little animals. And when people get an envelope and they see it all filled with stickers, somebody knows that you've gone to extra effort. Well, thank you, dear, for talking to me about this.
You're welcome.
I love it. I love this. I love today.
Me too.
Oh my God, we have so many people.
And by the way, David,
Yes.
I can see that everybody, I can see, and I think this is true across the board. Everybody could use a love letter. Everybody could use a letter saying, here's what I remember about you. Here's how you helped me. I remember how beautiful you looked in that blue dress. I remember to the guys, you know, whatever. I remember when you made that touchdown. Whatever it is you remember. Girls can make touchdowns too. Yes, I know that. And guys can wear blue dresses. So whatever it is that you feel like sending that you remember positively, why not do it? If you have a positive thought, what's the point of keeping your mouth shut about it? Wouldn't it be better to express it? And one of the things about that is you get to bathe in the positive. It helps our blood pressure. It helps everything. Makes us healthier. Studies have shown that it makes us healthier. And when we write by hand, it makes us a little smarter. That's what they say, that when you write things by hand, your brain is working better. So that's something to consider.